Hello guys, so Deborah speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM episode 1369. Get it? 69. Today we're reacting to Purple Roads Podcast episode 99. The boy called Emma from Barney and Friends. And react to this beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Carrie Stinson, and my journey through life has been quite an adventure. For over 20 years, I played Barney the Dinosaur on tour, and 7 seasons of the hugely popular TV show, Barney and Friends. Now, my journey is to bring together friends and guests from all over the entertainment world for inspiring and at times amusing behind-the-scenes conversation. I'm Carrie Stinson, and this is Purple Roads.
Wow.
Welcome to Purple Roads. My name is Carrie Stinson, and as always, I'm so thrilled you're here, and I'm so thrilled again. You know, I've been telling you all, or I've been listening that you want Barney people, and I've been telling you that I was getting Barney people, and I got another one this week, and it's just so special. The memories are already flowing. We've been sitting here for a couple minutes catching up, and I'm so excited. You've asked for this person, and so we've got her here. This is Deborah Cole, who played Emma, I think seasons 12 and 13, maybe even a little 14.
Whoa. Okay. So she was not in the forward than that until it was 12 before. That was the show, before the show got canceled. Okay. Continue on.
But, oh my goodness, Deborah, how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. How are you?
I am great. I am great, and I just love these. I just absolutely love these. It brings back all these memories. You know, I don't know, when we started connecting to do this, I thought about that big balloon. We did that video with that big hot air balloon.
That was crazy.
Wow.
We did that for like a few days. We just were in the basket for a few days. I think I have some pictures of it still that someone took, but yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
That was a long time ago.
It was a moment. It was a moment. It was a moment. But you know, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
You've because you were young, right, when you started.
Yeah, I think I auditioned when I was 8, and then that's when I booked the role. So I think maybe we started filming when I was around 9 or so, for those few seasons. But yeah, I was a baby. For sure.
Well, you know, that's an amazing thing. And we've had child actors on, but you know, 8, 9 is pretty young. And for a show like that, especially, you know, when you're talking about 12 and 13, you know, for that age, that's pretty young. And you're walking into something that's been going on for a long time, right? Everyone's been there a long time. Was that intimidating? I don't know if you remember all that.
Yeah, I remember the audition process was pretty grueling. I remember I auditioned with my little sister actually, and then there were like, I think it was like 4 or 5 different auditions they kept calling you back for. There was like one where you had to sing, one where you had to do a script, one where you had to like learn choreography and dance in front of the camera. So that was pretty intimidating, but I was also so young, so I don't think I really understood, you know, what was really happening at the time. It was just super fun.
Wow.
Like, I loved. I just had a good time. I loved acting. I still do.
Wow.
So,
well, you're still acting, right? You're still acting.
I am. Yes.
Wow.
We shot a commercial just the past week, so still doing a few things here and there. It's pretty fun.
Well, it's, you know, once it's in the blood, it's kind of hard to.
It's hard to let go.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
It stays with you forever, especially when you've been on Barney. It's like you peak at the age of 8, and you're like, where can I go from here?
Well, and that's a common story that a lot of the kids that have been on here we've talked about, and some of them got back in and then gotten out. Some obviously kept going. It's fascinating. I'm curious, who was doing your auditions? Do you remember who those were? I'm like trying to figure out who would have been at the time.
I know it was Fred. He
Okay.
was in a few of them. I remember vividly in the first callback. Oh my gosh, it's all coming back. Um, he
Wow.
asked me to sing something for him, and I gave him an option. And one of them was like the Tin Man song from The Wizard of Oz, because I had just been in that musical as Dorothy. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I love that song." I was like, "Okay," so
Wow.
I sang it for him. So I do remember Fred being at a few of them. I don't know who else was there,
Hmm.
but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's fast because I've heard so many different audition stories over the
Hmm.
years.
Wow.
It's really changed. You know, when we went back, which would have been when I started on Barney and Friends, because I was on the tour. So I
Wow.
started season 7 and 8, and I mean it was a cattle call. There were
Hmm.
so many because they were bringing a whole cast. They were starting again, and so
Wow.
um, I
That sounds
know it
crazy. I
was
just
hundreds, if not thousands.
Yeah, I remember there being hundreds of kids when I like at the first audition. I remember so many kids. I was like, "There's just no way." And
Wow.
this was my first audition after getting signed with the acting portion of my agency at the time in Dallas. So I didn't even know like what to expect. It was kind of crazy how many kids were there. But yeah, I bet at the beginning when y'all were, you know, re-getting everything together, it was probably insane.
Well,
Every part and everything.
and I think every kid that was acting knew about Barney, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it was by far the biggest acting job for kids in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah,
Wow.
for sure. I remember watching it when I was little, and I remember it's crazy because I'm one of five, and I'm the oldest. So like when I started getting older and all the episodes were coming out, my little siblings got to watch. It's just crazy. And now like all of the younger cousins, like nieces, nephews, they all get to watch too. It's just wild.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, because our shows are still out there, all over the place.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know one of the things that they were always looking for. It's a lot for a kid, right? Because as you just said, right, you're talking about singing, you're talking about dancing, you're talking about remembering lines, and then you've got costume characters that you're working with. Uh,
Yeah.
Many times we brought animals on the set. There, horses and cows and elephants and stuff. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then, as you saw, that's a big set with
Wow.
a lot of crew members and a lot going on. To be able to focus on all those things was pretty hard. What was it like for you when you first stepped on maybe we'll say for rehearsal? You stepped on set for rehearsal.
I okay. Wow, I remember the first episode I was on. I think it was Victoria Lennox was in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know Victoria?
Yes, sir.
She was the
Oh,
dragon.
speaking of Victoria, she back then she was short lived with me, talking to me on Facebook, and after that she didn't talk to me ever since because I have no idea what the hell was going on with Victoria Lennox at the time. She and I didn't talk to each other ever since, unfortunately. Well, she and I need to be reconnected because after this book will be released in 2024. We'll just see what happens. Continue on.
Thing. I don't know if you remember this, but I think that was my first one. I remember I was such a focused kid. Everyone was like, "You're such an old soul." I could memorize really well. I know what I had to do, and I would do it. And I followed directions super well, which helped me a lot, I think. But I remember y'all taking on and off like the headpieces, like for the smaller dinos, like Reggie
Wow.
and Baby Bop. And it just, the way everything worked, and I remember your little mouthpiece and how it would make your mouth move,
Yep.
things like that. I couldn't focus on anything. I had to watch. I remember Fred being like, "Deborah, like, hello, are you
Mm-hmm.
still here?" I was like, "I'm sorry. I just, this is crazy to me. I'm seeing it for the first time in such a different way." So, so that was really interesting. I loved seeing all the behind the scenes and like how the camera stuff worked, and
Wow.
um, the costumes were crazy to me as a
Wow.
kid. It was fun.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, we've talked about this before. Did you do Barney Camp? What was your introduction to us? Do you remember that, your introduction to the dinosaurs, to the costume actors?
No, I don't think I did a Barney. I don't
Okay.
know.
See, I think they did that with the bigger groups, but when ones came in and added to the cast, I don't think they did it. So do you
Yeah, that's
remember?
sweet. Yeah, I don't think that we did that. I remember, I guess, like rehearsing with everyone thought the costumes and people saying, this is what it's going to be like, but actually seeing it, it's just different. As a young kid, it's magical, you could say.
You know something? When I was a kid, back when I was 11 years old, I wanted to form a company called LJPCBM Club. And that happened back in late February 2007. And I wanted to get this out of the way to make more YouTube like in late in the summer of 2007. So that's the reason why I wanted to get this out of the way. And this is where I met Victoria Lennox. And she wanted to be originally going to be with the company that I formed in Georgia. But she had been too busy with Barney, at that time. I was only 14. I met Victoria, but she like I mentioned earlier, I know it's Riyadh, but I just don't know what to say. It's just, let me give you a brief story of her. I don't know what happened to her now. She just basically out of touch with me at the time. I'm sorry to say that, but she just don't know what to. She didn't know how to get in touch with me at the time. It's been years since I have not got a chance to reach with her at the time. I'm sorry, but she only knows about me, people what they know. She knows. But, I just thought it would be a good idea to talk to her again. Stuff like that. It's just, I don't know what's going on. It's what I'm trying to tell you guys. But basically, what I'm trying to say is basically, I'm trying to get this out of the way. I'm going to get this done for her and just saying, hey, how you doing? Just go out of the way. Makes more sense. Just want to make more clear, make more anything else, make more LJPCBM like in my studio. What is she doing right now? This is something I can do before we continue on with Victoria Lennox. Let me see. Born in 1997. I wonder what she's doing now. Let's see. That's the first time I met her. Okay? She was Tracy and Barney friends. During junior year in high school, Lennox described the no longer... Are you kidding me? Lennox preserved relations with strong apprentice and entertainment events. She has successfully produced and managed events for Disney, NBC, Vanity Fair, Fox, and... Okay, why not? She's supposed to be doing LJPCBM, but she's supposed to be doing acting. Jeez. She didn't return for acting, but why associate? She's supposed to be doing those things. Okay. University of Southern California? Come on! She's supposed to be doing that time with LJPCBM. Jeez. Anyway, let's continue on. I'm listening.
I guess. But yeah, I remember the sets they were huge, and like the wranglers were great. The teachers on set were incredible. It was like one of the best times of my life. Everyone was just incredible to me. So.
Well, it's funny about all this because, obviously, and you probably learned this if you can remember this, but so we do a rehearsal, right? And so Barney, for example, might do a jump and a skip, right? And then when we do it, I might decide to do a spin or something of that nature. If you
But watch the tail. I remember the tail being an issue. I remember Jaron Lewison, I think, somehow got hit with the tail because he wasn't paying attention or something. It was so funny. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to watch out because you couldn't see. You're in the mouth.
Well, my trick is that most people that know is that I'm memorizing, right? Is what I'm doing. So when we're rehearsing, I'm memorizing what you're going to do. So I'm locking in that you're actually going to do those things. And so
that's so smart. I didn't know that. I
Mhm.
mean, I guess yeah, you have to. So if we changed anything, it would, it could be a potential issue or
Yeah.
safety hazard or something.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I always tell people, I was Superman with all my other senses, right? So
mhm,
I learned to really use my ears, right? Because I couldn't see great, but I always use my ears. I could see really wide. I would use those spots and memorize things. And
Mhm.
then obviously, smell and all of those senses,
Mhm.
they became superpowers because you really are
Wow.
blind in a lot of ways. But that's an aspect that was really important for the kids is to find ones that could handle all the craziness that was going on. And I
Mm.
love how you said old soul, because that's really what they're looking for, right? You're looking for someone that looks young, but actually is mature and acts older.
Mhm.
yeah, you definitely need that. I think for almost anything like working wise, for a child, it's just so difficult because we're distracted by so many things, and you have to be able to stay focused, which I guess came kind of naturally to me. So I was really blessed with
Mhm.
that.
Well, let's talk about a little bit back about that balloon. I'm going to go all over the place because
Okay.
I it's like memories are coming back with working with you. So I'm like, I want to talk about this, then I want to talk about this. Usually I started in order and go, but this one we're going to go all over the place.
Perfect.
Wow.
Love
Because
it.
that balloon, it's a fascinating thing, right? Because obviously we're not going anywhere, right?
Wow.
That balloon is in the park, and then obviously we use green screen. I think it was blue actually, but
Was it blue? Really?
I think the set was blue.
Wow.
I don't know.
I'm seeing green, but maybe you're right.
Well, let me tell you right now,
I'll look at the picture.
I would trust your memory way over my memory. So
Wow.
we'll find a picture or something
We'll
of it,
see.
but I don't know. I'm thinking blue, but I definitely trust you. But you're seeing nothing, right? Obviously, and you're having to imagine we're flying in the air and we're doing all of those kind of things.
Yeah,
Did you always have a big imagination?
I think so. I've always, yeah, I've always been like a, what's the word? I've always loved like the fantasy of everything. As you can see, I read a lot of fantasy over here still. Um, I love the things that aren't real.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess I always have. Like, I love Disney, um, all the fun stories like fairy tales. Um, yeah, that's always been a big part of my life, I think.
Wow.
So that part came pretty easy to me as well. I remember us having to like point and look at all the different countries we were sailing over. But yeah, that was a good time.
Wow.
Now I'm really wondering if that screen was blue though.
Wow.
I'm like,
I'm telling you, I'm not going to bet money on my memory's actually pretty decent, but on this case, I am not feeling confident.
Wow.
So I'm trying to remember how we did that because that video, it was kind of a compilation, as I recall,
I
right?
think
Of us going
to
to
different places.
to France and to this and that. You must have been in. You were in
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I was in
those episodes.
the France and Italy, and there was another one. Was it Mexico? I'm not sure.
There was a Mexico one, and there was
Mm.
a Spain one
Oh,
Wow.
maybe it was. Oh, I don't
with
know.
the horse. You remember the horse?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't with a horse. It might have been the Mexico one. I was in those two.
It's so funny you say. I don't know why that France video, which was an episode, was one of my absolute favorites.
Oh,
Wow.
me too. I love that one.
And Brian Mack, who's probably watching this, who directed that and loved that as well, and he put so much detail into that. And I
Wow.
mean, I remember working my tail off of that episode, but I loved it. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved that episode. There was something about it.
I remember that one the best, I think. I'm
Mhm.
not sure why, but yeah, that all the memories from that come back pretty clearly. Like I remember who all was in it, the moves and the dances we did to like travel through the book to get to France.
Mhm.
Pierre, the artist, that was fun, and seeing the bakers dance around with the cookies. I remember we filmed that so many times. Like I feel like I
Wow.
have the dance memorized. We filmed it so many times, but I mean, it turned out great. And yes, I remember Brian as well. He was great to work with as well.
So the crazy thing about this episode, and if you want to understand for anyone watching this, what a small community Dallas is, that artist, I've worked with him several times. He's done a lot of commercial stuff in Dallas. I've worked with him a bunch. And then those bakers,
Wow.
one of them was Joel Farrell. Joel Farrell is a well-known director, um, big, big theater community guy here in Dallas. Joel had done some choreography for us, and I just love Joel Farrell.
Wow.
And then one of the other ones, and I don't know his name, but he is, or I think he still is, the high school theater teacher at Keller High, where
That's funny.
my kids go to. And when that all came out, they're already, the fact that their stepdad is Barney is something to deal with. And now their theater teacher was in one of the videos with their stepdad.
Wow.
That's awesome. Wow, that's crazy. Oh wow, I didn't know that Joel. I didn't know any
Wow.
of this. I guess when you're a kid, you just don't pick up on that.
Well, it's funny as we're talking about this, how every kid wanted to be on Barney, that wanted to be an actor. Well, so did every adult, right? Every adult knew that this was, the biggest thing going in Dallas Fort Worth, and it was steady in a lot of ways. A lot of them,
I
did
agree.
other things, and
Yeah, I remember during the Italy episode, I was related. I don't know if it was my great grandmother or something like that.
Mm.
The lady who played the role was Julie Erickson, and I had known her for years and years. And she showed up on set, and I freaked out. I was like, "What are you doing here?"
Wow.
She's incredible, and she's been acting for forever. And she was one of my mentors when I was doing musical theater back in the day. But yeah, it's wild. They all love it. It's just a really great fun set to be on. There's no drama. It's just let's have fun. Let's play with some magic.
well, I've talked about this a lot. Everyone was on the same mission, right? Everyone understood how important what we were doing was, how much the kids loved this, how important it was, and we could have fun and we could do all those things. But you also had to take that very seriously. I don't know. Were you ever around when they did Make a Wish? Were you ever around when any of the kids came?
I'm really trying to remember. It's interesting. My brother, he has SMA, so he's a part of the Make a Wish Foundation. So I'm trying to think if we ever did something. I remember you meeting my brother. He was in a wheelchair when we were filming stuff, but I don't know if I was ever a part of going to see any of the kids that were being supported through the foundation. I'm not sure. But I think it's so beautiful. It touches a lot of kids' hearts for sure.
Yeah.
It's exciting for them. It's so nice to see.
It really was incredible, and you saw that, not just if you were one of the performers, but all the crew members as well. I mean, every aspect of it knew what we were doing, and it's and I talk about that a lot, but it's also for every kid, right? It's for every kid. When I grew up, I was watching. I shouldn't say these things because it's going to really age me.
Wow.
But Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street and the Electric Company.
Mm-hmm.
These were shows that I watched every day. Every day.
Whoa. Okay. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, Carrie, that makes more sense. Continue on.
Watched every day. Every day, and then I, was fortunate enough to work with Carol Spinney, who played Big Bird later on, and I worked with Mr. McFeely as well.
Wow.
They were exactly like what I saw on TV.
Mm-hmm.
They understood the responsibility of it.
Wow.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
It's a big responsibility for sure. It's incredibly important. I totally agree with that. That's
well, and we knew, I know you coming on as an 8-year-old probably watched Barney.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I watched Barney when I was little. For sure. I was more of like a Teletubbies girl, but
That was my childhood, man! Come on. Continue on.
which I probably shouldn't say. But I did love Barney. I did watch it a few times. I think so. My brother and my sister, they always had that on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I remember seeing Barney for the first time, and I was like, this is not real life, you know. You're supposed to be in the TV.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
I've never asked this question.
Okay.
Okay, so you've watched the show, right? Obviously, as you just talked about.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, it's a much bigger. It really is. Experience
Yeah.
when you actually see him in person. The size of Barney is pretty huge.
Yes.
What was that like for you from seeing him on TV, where he's this big, to he's over 7 feet tall?
I wouldn't say it was scary. I was just like, who is in there?
Wow.
Who? How tall are you? And who are you? I wasn't really scared. I think it was just more of like, I mean, yeah, the costume is huge.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember like how they had you put it on, but didn't you have like a machine? I remember you had I can't remember her name. She had like the short red hair. Was it?
Margaret.
Yes.
Margaret
Yes.
Foster.
I remember. Yes. I think she was like helped you with your costume all the time.
Yeah.
She was awesome, but yeah, I don't know how y'all. I mean, it's huge. It's crazy, and I imagine I was probably a lot smaller than I am now, so
Wow.
I was probably like up to the top of Barney's legs a little bit, maybe like to the belly button, but
Probably something like that.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't that. I know a lot of kids that did get scared when they first saw you, though. I remember some kids meeting Barney for the first time and it being like this like freaky experience.
You know something, Deborah? When I first met Barney, it was 2011. I was only a teenager because it was like during Barney's birthday bash concert. It was great, and then later on, like 8 years later, nearly 8 years later, I was like, damn. It was like basically based off of the whole entire experience. With the day of the part with Barney at Florida, at Universal Orlando Resort, and I was like, there, and Mr. Pigwood was there, and then I was like, Barney, and then there's this huge purple dinosaur over here, and then all that good stuff. If you look at my YouTube channel video thinking, me agree with Barney and all that good activities, go check it out on YouTube. But yeah, the pictures of me with the Barney suit and the rest of the Barney concert was based in 2011 was basically just pictures. That was it. And after that, that was over. I don't know about you, but I had experienced Barney when I was very, very young. I was only in my 6 months old because Barney Live New York City. And what I first watched the first time. Barney Live New York City from 1995. That was the first experience with Barney to around the present. That's my really, really experience with Barney ever since. I somehow do it on and off. And that's how I began with this. Continue on.
Because you knew that the extras didn't know, right? We didn't tell them that there was someone in the. I didn't meet them. The only kids that knew are actually cast kids. So any of those extras that we brought on, they only met Barney as Barney. They never met me. They never met Jeff or Kyle. So it was costume only.
Yeah, I think they warned me, like, someone's in there, so, be aware.
You be aware of it.
Voice that's not, Barney's voice. But
yeah,
that part was really cool.
Yeah, he's either Bob West or Dean Webb for that matter. For some reason, when I was 7, I thought Bob West would be voicing Barney, but in the 7th and 8th season, but nope. Bob West didn't voice Barney for no reason, thinking, oh my god, is he not gonna voice Barney again? What happened? And then Dean Wint came along, and then he just liked to do this stupendous. Why is Bob West not voicing Barney in the park? That's what I want to know. Continue on.
And how was that for you, now that you bring that part up, knowing that the voice is somewhere else, that you're dealing with?
I thought that was so interesting. I think it threw me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie at first. Like hearing from over here and having to have someone right here and reacting to
Right.
it, just like nodding,
Yeah.
and mouth moving. I mean, you get used to it. I guess after a while, you just have to. But I think I remember. I think at the beginning, I thought you were the voice.
Yeah.
And then I kept hearing it from somewhere else and being
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
I see.
So that's interesting. That's also the first time I learned like how to lip sync, and that people did that on TV. You don't actually sing every take, it's recorded and you're lip syncing the words. That blew my mind. I remember learning that for the first time. It actually made me sad because I just wanted to sing every take. I thought that was really cool too.
So do you remember going and recording your singing?
Yeah, I remember recording the song for the France episode.
Wow.
And do you remember that person that was doing the recording? His name was Casey.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was my brother.
No.
Okay, let's continue on. I don't want to pause right there. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if did I ever know that?
I don't know. I've mentioned that to a couple of kids. They had no clue. Yeah, that was my brother.
Gosh, I had no idea. I mean, maybe I knew back in the day, but
Yeah.
wow.
We've all slept a little bit, but yeah, that was my brother.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy. Is he older or younger?
He's younger.
He's younger. Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's coming back to me a little bit. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't
So
remember.
how was that part of it? Because it is, right? You guys go in and you record that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And you have to lip sync to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun. I felt like a pop star. I remember getting in the recording studio.
Yeah, or heavy metal star, something like that. Continue on.
Putting my headphones on and having the microphone, I felt pretty cool about myself, I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
But I learned a lot more about the editing. I thought you sing the whole way through. If you mess up, you start again. Like, that's obviously not how editing works. So they would have you do like a few different lines at one time or try and do it all the way through. I was just super curious, I think, about all of it, and kind of enthralled, I guess you could say. But yeah, I love the singing. I love singing. I still do, but that was a really fun part. I loved it.
Well, and you probably understand it. Not all the kids can sing, right? So that's why he would, if he had to punch, some of them could keep a tune, some of them you had to punch them in, right? Because you're asking for kids that can memorize lines, that can dance, that can sing,
It was a lot, yeah.
So if you can get one that can do, let's say, just one of those really good, right? Then you adjust, right? Maybe you don't have them sing as much if they can't really sing, but they can dance, or if they can't really dance, then you have them sing a lot. Because it's hard.
It's hard, yeah.
And then someone that's mature, they can handle all the things that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's as you probably recall, especially from the Fred shows. It's a lot of takes. It's a lot of takes.
It's a lot of takes. I mean, I'm glad I was so young when I did. It takes a lot of energy out of you, especially like the dancing. I remember you coming out of the costume afterwards, and you were just drenched. I felt terrible. I mean, it's so hot in there, in the costume. But yeah, we did it. We did a lot of times. I was the one that couldn't dance very well. I think that was the thing that I couldn't do. I remember. I do not know what episode this is, but I do a cartwheel, and it is atrocious. My family still takes videos of it and sends it to me. Like, it is bad. It's really bad. But I mean, I could do the other stuff, so.
Wow.
Well, it's something, and I know you understand that we could get away with, right? Because you can always say, well, they're kids, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So if they can't do a perfect cartwheel, well, not every kid can do a perfect cartwheel. So
Oh,
that actually works out pretty well.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, it did. I'll never forget the cartwheel. They'll never let me live that down for sure.
Mhm.
Oh.
Don't worry, we all have our moments. I have several little tumbles that
Yeah.
I did in a few places
Mhm.
that I will never be. Uh,
I remember one of them very vividly.
uh-oh.
But we don't have to talk about that.
Well.
Which episode was it?
um,
It wasn't the Halloween one, was it?
no, it was one. It was with Jaren. It's the one
Okay.
I was kind of talked about earlier. I don't know what happened. Some choreography got messed up. It was something about autumn. It was the
Wow.
autumn song.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And I guess, but you grabbed him and you rolled like with him, so like you saved the day. But it was like, it's scary. That costume
Wow.
is heavy, and yeah, so we had to be super careful.
That was easy.
Exactly. Continue on.
Yeah, well, obviously, protecting you all is the most important.
Yeah, which you did.
We're adults and all of that, but yeah. No, I had a couple. I mean, once it's going,
You can't
it's
stop it, right?
hard to.
Wow.
It's hard to. I've rescued myself once, which I've told that story, but it's one of the funniest things ever. Which is, you remember the 360 move?
Yeah.
Where he goes aerial and lands. I was in front of 16,000 people in Minnesota on stage. And I had so much, and this is such a great subject because as you said, you felt like a pop star when you were singing, right? We get this energy, we get in performing. And so I was feeling so good, I decided to do another one like back to back. So I landed it and went the other way, and I landed
Wow.
on one leg, and the whole thing went that way, and I took my weight and yanked it and landed down, and I mean, you could hear 16,000 people going.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That would be my reaction. That will be the post credit scene. Continue on.
Of course, I landed it, and then I went, and then when I got done, there was a producer looking for me, and I think about, you will never do that again.
Oh no. Well, I mean, at least you saved it, man.
I saved it, but boy, I got everyone's heart to beat a little bit faster.
Well,
That's the fun part of this industry.
yeah,
Right?
I mean, you can't control most things, I feel like. And that's what makes it so fun. Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen every day. It's something new.
There's no question. So other than your cartwheel, can you think of something else you did that
Wasn't very good. My dance,
or you struggled with, or just an
I
amusing
struggled
moment?
with. I do remember the dance for the one where it was like going to all the countries into the book. I still remember some of the dance moves. I still sometimes when I see it, I try to like do them better because I'm like, you could have done so much better.
Wow.
It's just sad. I'm like, oh, you poor thing. But yeah, the dancing, I think that was it for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really struggled with. I really didn't like doing school on set. I just wanted to be on set the whole time. That I wanted to just watch, I feel like. And Fred was really sweet about, showing me behind the scenes, wanting me to like later in my life get involved with like how does the camera work? How do the shots work? What kind of shot is that? And so that was really cool. I think I struggled with just wanting to be on set the whole time. It was a lot of fun.
Makes sense.
That part's not a bad thing.
No. It's an
No.
interesting thing though. And I remember Fred was always that way. We love you, Fred. We love you, Fred.
We love you so much. We really do. He
Fred
taught me
Holmes, the wishbone difference. Continue on.
so much. I feel like he's like basically one of my mentors. He inspired me a lot growing up. I feel like it was really important to have that at such a young age, and yeah, he was a great director.
Wow.
Really great.
It's so funny you bring about the choreography because there are times when I'm on this thing talking about different, and it like my body almost takes over, right? If you talk about Raindrops, Knickerbocker, the I Love You song, it is so ingrained in my body
Yeah. I
that,
still remember the songs. I have them all memorized. It's crazy.
Wow.
yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is, and I'll get your opinion on this. People say, well, you did it so many times, you just get sick of that song. I don't.
Mm.
I don't. Did you ever is there a song you just like, oh, I don't want to do that one again?
The I Love You.
Mm-hmm.
That one. Just because that's the one that everybody knows. So like when I would tell people, oh yeah, like I'm on Barney, whatever, and then they, make fun of me. Oh, I love you, you love me. I think maybe that one, but I mean, I never hated it. I mean, I loved all the songs. Like I said, the Autumn song, the Color song, the one that I got to sing all by myself. We still sing that in my family to this day.
What was it?
It was really sad. It was like something like, I don't know the answer, or how'd it go? How come I don't know the answers, or how come I don't know the way? Will someone laugh or make fun of me? What will the other kids say? That one. And then it went on, but it was really cute. Very dramatic. Very dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go way back to the beginning here, but did you always want to be an actor? Did you push your parents to go audition for Barney, or is this something your parents brought to you?
I'm trying to remember. It started so early. I remember starting at an agency just modeling when I was about 6 or so. And that's when I started. I loved to sing when I was younger, and so I wanted to do musical theater. So my mom put me and my sister in that, and I wanted to act more and more. So we started taking some classes over at Catherine Sullivan's in Dallas, and I just remember wanting more. I didn't want to just do like the whole musical thing. I wanted to be like on TV. Like I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I could grow in it. I could see myself pursuing it, and I had a passion for it. So then I got the agent. I think I was 8, but like I said, Barney was my first audition like as an actress. And I got really lucky somehow out of all of those kids, and I booked the role of Emma. So yeah, I think I've kind of always wanted to know from as young as I can remember. I don't know. I remember my mom saying, like, I could memorize, at the age of 2, like, I had the whole movie of Tarzan memorized, like, completely. Wow. Or, like, a whole book just completely memorized, and she thought it was crazy. So I guess the memorization part helps a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it all just kind of meshed together. It's kind of like, no, maybe this is what I should be doing. I enjoy doing it, and I'm passionate about it. So I think pretty much my whole life. It's kind of crazy.
Can you remember seeing yourself on the show the first time when it came out, the episodes came out?
No, I don't remember that at all. Isn't that weird? I feel like I would. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, but you were what, 9 or 10?
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
You're right. The best, I remember the parts of being on set, but like them actually coming out, I don't even know how we watched them, because we didn't have like Netflix or anything like that. How did you watch them, or did you?
Not much. They gave me well, it's embarrassing, but at one point it was VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And then it became DVDs. But yeah, I mean, it was tapes. But I didn't like to watch myself work. So I don't know how you are about that.
Yeah, no, I don't love it at all, actually. I'm really bad at watching myself. I think it's gotten better over the years. It's good to know, where you can improve. It's fun to watch myself young now, because it's just funny.
Sure.
But yeah, at the time, I did not. I remember going to acting class and we would have like a day of playbacks where everyone watched everyone's scenes, and I just it's like, can I go to the bathroom? like for like 10 minutes. But yeah, no, I didn't really enjoy watching myself. I do remember getting a DVD for the home video we did for the hot air balloon home video. Um, but I don't remember how we watched the other ones. I have no idea. I
Wow.
have no clue. I know it wasn't VHS. It was probably DVD, but at
Yeah,
that
my first ones were VHS, but
Yeah, I remember VHS like well when I was a kid. Like Teeny Tiny Baby. Continue on.
which I probably got something around here, but
yeah.
I just have nothing to blame on. But yeah, I'm just one of those that I know, I think as we're doing rehearsals and takes, the things that I need to adjust to. But I think, for me, I can critique myself too much.
You get critical.
Oh.
Yeah, I can definitely you can beat yourself up for sure over something, or
Wow.
you probably have the same thing where it's like, oh, that it'll never be good enough.
Wow.
That's definitely hard to deal with. I feel like most actors have that issue. I'm definitely more of a perfectionist, like type A. I don't know if you're the same way.
Wow.
No, thank goodness. Funny enough, my brother is. So the
Okay.
one that you work with, he is definitely that. But for me, and it would be hard to do that role and be that way because every jump can't be perfect. There are times I didn't take off right, and I'm like, oh, I'm not. This is gonna be more like a 320.
Wow.
It's not gonna be a 360 or
Wow.
right. That one might be 280.
Jeez. Jeez. Okay. Continue on.
Might be a little energy. I might go 370, 380. So
Wow.
and the funny thing, it was one of my favorite things about working on this set. You probably experienced this. Is that the crew knew too? They're like, boy, that was a little off there. Yeah,
Wow.
short on that. I remember before lunch you were able to get this high off the ground. That was kind of low.
That's awesome. Oh, that's funny. I really wish that I could go back and see it as an adult. I mean, I feel like I missed so much. Or you're treated different when you're a kid, and
Sure.
so I would love to go back and just see if I could. I do remember there was one time I was super busy. I was had exams at school. I was the lead in a play, and I was doing Barney, so it was just crazy, and I couldn't memorize the lines fast enough. While we were doing rehearsal one day, and Fred was directing, and I just could not. I can't remember the lines, and I beat myself up so bad about
Wow.
that day. I think that was one of the first times I ever experienced anxiety. I was like, Fred, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Tomorrow it'll be perfect. Because you're there. What?
But you're also a kid.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was supposed to, I wasn't acting and doing all these other things isn't super normal for a child. You do extracurriculars or a sport, but this is completely different. You grow. I feel like it definitely helps you grow up.
Wow.
A lot quicker, for sure.
It's interesting though. I've had this conversation with some of the kids that were kids and now adults. What was it like for you, the adjustment of, because you were doing both schools, right? Sometimes you're in your regular school and then sometimes you're at Barney's school. Was that hard to go back and forth?
Oh yeah. Oh, my teachers hated me.
Wow.
They hated me. They were but I also went to a private school, and so I think that made it a little bit more difficult, having to miss class for a straight week or whatever. but having to get all the work like pre-made up and sent over to the tutor on set, I think it definitely like stressed my parents and the teachers out. I was just
Wow.
kind of, the kid there just having a good time, but I could see it for sure. And, so that was a little difficult, I think, but I think it was so worth it. It was definitely worth it in my eyes. I think for me and my parents as well, they were just so excited for me. And I was
Wow.
too. But yeah, it was difficult.
Did the other kids say things to you?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I was bullied so hard for being on Barbie.
Wow.
It's interesting. I look back at it now and I'm like, it's funny because that's like the coolest thing ever.
Uh-huh.
They might be jealous or like insecure at the time, just like we all are. It's in like that weird
Oh,
stage
God.
where it's like kind of preteen a little bit. I think it started happening more around like when I was 10 or 11. Some people thought it was really cool, like most of the adults. So I don't know. I got along more with adults anyway. So I was like, hey, I'm doing what I gotta do, and it was fun. It didn't hurt me that bad. It was worth it for sure.
Wow.
Well, kids are going to teach you about anything anyway. I mean, there's going to be something anyways. But it's funny you said, how the "I Love You" song, you got a little sick of it, but that's probably why, right?
Yeah.
Every kid is bringing is bringing that up.
Yeah, everybody knows the "I Love You" song, so that's all they could, spit at me about.
Right.
But I mean, I tell people now, and when they find out, they're just like, "That's like the coolest thing ever." Like, "Oh, maybe I watched you." I'm like, "Probably not, but maybe one of your younger siblings or something." It should. I mean, yeah, we were just kids, and it's that age, so. But it got better for sure. I think
Oh
it gets
yeah, it
older.
does.
Yeah.
So what did you learn from Barney?
Mhm.
Oh gosh, I learned a lot. Um, I learned how to behave on a set. Um, I learned. Oh man, I don't know. It was just like the best time in my life. I learned how to be so happy. I learned how to have joy in something that was work, but I was super passionate about, and it's something that you have to work really hard at. Um, I don't know.
Mhm.
I learned how to communicate a lot better. I think it was really great communicating with the adults. Like I said, I learned some of the behind the scenes.
Wow.
I learned so much. There's too much.
And and then you went off to college after?
Yeah, I went to OU.
Oh goodness.
Oh, you.
If my
Oregon University. If you watch this, my friend, Alex Paris, Oregon's for the late, your late Papa Nick, for you. And, of course, your grandma. I'm not gonna mention any more names, but that's just me. For Shade Cove, Oregon. Continue on.
with my proud Texas shirt on there. Boomer Sooner.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner. Yeah, I got a BFA with emphasis in acting, so stayed on that track.
And how was that? I'm curious. So because you're coming in with having this incredible acting experience, coming into college, not probably no one else in your class.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. OU is so great. They only accept like a certain amount of, I think it's like 10 girls, 10 guys, or it was something like that for my class, or maybe a little bit more, for each year. And most of the kids like discovered that they enjoyed acting in high school, and they like did all the high school plays or the musicals. And I have been doing this for so long. So it was definitely interesting, growing with these people in a different way, because we had never experienced the type of curriculum you do for theater and acting, in college.
Right.
Wow.
So we're all kind of like starting at the same place. Some of us are a little bit ahead of others, but we're all like, going through it at the same time. So that was really interesting. Actually.
Yeah.
and it was cool to like share my experience with the professors and everyone there. Yeah, it was a good time.
Was that did it help you or did it hurt you? Did you have to, because acting as a kid,
Let me just check. Let me just check. Speaking of which, if Deborah Cole, what year she was born? Let me see, Deborah Cole. I think I may spell her name wrong. She was born 98 of May 24th. Okay. She was attended Oklahoma. Oh, it's not. I was in the wrong place. She graduated in December of 2019. Okay. It was Oregon. Oh, I thought it was For some reason, I thought it was Okay, I was in the wrong state. I was in University of I thought it was Oregon. Okay, let's continue on.
it is as you know, becoming an adult.
I think
Use what you learned, or did you pull back, or
I think it's maybe a little bit of both. Um, I think it hurt me in ways of, you know, people finding out what I had done in the past and maybe me feeling like, oh, I'm not going to meet their expectations or, yeah, I've been doing this so much longer than you, but, you know, you get in your head. So
Sure.
I get, stuff like that, like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as this person. Or I also like never wanted to come off, like cocky or been like, oh yeah, I've done that, been there. Like that's not fun for anyone,
Wow.
including myself. So I think that part hurt me a little bit. But I think that I definitely I took a lot of what I learned growing up. Theater is in college is a little different because it's not as much television as it is theater. It's like plays on a
Right.
stage. So
Wow.
I have been doing so much film recently that
Wow.
I was like, okay, now I have to, kind of like break open my shell, speak a lot, project, It's a
Wow.
different type of acting for sure. So I think it kind of helped me a little there, maybe having some musical theater experience. So yeah, I guess it was a little bit of both.
And then what did you do after college?
Well, I graduated a semester early, so I graduated December of 2019. And then my plan was to move to LA March of 2020.
And something happened.
And then the world fell apart, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I never ended up going. I'm still in the Dallas area, which has kind of been a blessing in disguise. It's kind of crazy out there right now. I mean, not that it's not crazy everywhere, but
Right.
I'm glad I'm here, with my family and friends and other things, and I'm still acting here. It's just I wanted the opportunity. I was like, I'm so young, I'm ready to go, like
Right.
but COVID, I mean, it hindered everybody. It made everybody take a few steps back. So
Yeah.
not as upset about that anymore.
Wow.
Hopefully it starts getting better.
Wow.
I guess we'll see.
Well, I was doing this show in a studio when COVID hit, and I was like, well, what do I do? So I built a set in my house and got on Zoom and became the on-air talent and the post-production. Yeah, no,
I was more of a Discord person. Thank you very much. Better than Zoom. Continue on.
it works out. It works out, right?
I mean, I guess you've learned a lot doing it all yourself too.
Yeah, I do. And I think, talking to you before we went on air and now, it's obviously in your blood. Like, you're not going to stop. I can pretty much tell. You're going to keep going one way or the other and figure it out.
I hope so. That's my dream. I don't want to stop doing what I love. It brings me too much joy to stop,
Wow.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I've had some of the other kids on that have continued.
Wow.
And so you've obviously learned in this business that you know you're going to hear no, and sometimes, and I mean, I've talked to this with some well-known actors. Sometimes you hear nothing.
Yeah.
You don't you
Oh
get
yeah, big one.
you get nothing.
Nothing.
So how have you learned to deal with that? Because you understand it's not personal. It could be in any way they're looking for someone this or that, but it's still not fun when those things happen. How's that been for you, and how do you deal with that?
Yeah. I think at the beginning, when I was really young, even before Barney, when I would audition for something, I'd want to know, I would, be at my mom's shoulder. Did I get it? Did you hear anything? She's like, no, not yet. It kind of, you would wait a few days, finally hear something. After doing that so many times, you kind of just learn to like hang back, wait to see if you hear anything. TV is different than theater because most of the time you just don't hear anything like at all.
Right.
You send off a tape or you go into a film an audition and it's like, okay, bye.
Wow.
They don't say anything. The rejection, it's like 99% rejection. And yeah, you can't take it personally at all. You have to have thick skin. I think I remember the first thing I didn't get, it like broke my heart, and my mom was like, she's never doing this again, and I was like, no, I am, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. So I think you just have to go in with that mindset. It really doesn't bother me anymore at all.
Wow.
Like a few weeks ago, I was pinned for a show, and it didn't end up working out. But it's like I'm so excited that I was considered. I know I'm not like wasting my time and energy, and I'm able to do something I love. And one day something might come of it. You have to really love it for you to keep going. I think.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. If you're not passionate about it and you don't love it, then it'll eat you alive. They're critical of you too. You're like, is it my body? Is it the way I'm speaking? Is it I'm not good enough? But
Wow.
you kind of have to let all that go. I feel like you gain a lot of confidence. I think starting younger helped me a lot now. I'm not as sensitive to it anymore, so I think that's what helped me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, even as an adult, it's, it was, well, I've told this, when I auditioned for the first Barney thing I auditioned to, they never called me back. She said, I'll give you a call, and she didn't. And I had to go hunt her phone number down and call her and go through that whole experience.
Wow.
But there's just something within you that does that. Like, I wasn't upset. I wasn't offended. I just was like, well, this was perfect. Why didn't you call me? So I called her back, and it ended up.
That's awesome. That's a good story.
It ended up all working out.
Wow. Maybe I should do that every time.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe not. That would
It doesn't always work that way, but I just maybe I was young enough that I just what the heck.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to learn to listen to your gut. I've learned that too.
Yeah, you do for sure. I always know when it's the weirdest thing. Whenever I book something, I know it. I will like walk out of the room and be like, I booked it. I know I did. It doesn't happen a lot, but you just know. It's just a weird feeling. But yeah, otherwise you just kind of have to lay low.
Yeah.
Keep doing your auditions. Keep trying. That's how you play the game, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to finish up with some kind of quick Barney questions here.
Okay.
Favorite song? Do you have a favorite song you like singing? Barney song?
I think it was probably the one that I sang.
The one you sang?
Yeah, I can't remember it, but the one I sang in the Friends episode. I don't think I ever sang this one, but the color one. Like or red is the color. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I do. My body started to shake here.
Yeah. You're like doing the dance.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever sang that, but I have the whole thing memorized. That's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite one you like to perform? to dance or do the movements to.
The one that I remember the most is the travel one that I keep doing like the motion, the here we
Oh.
go again, we're traveling, it's a great big world to see.
Yeah, I remember this very well when I was in my early teens. You know, it makes more sense. Continue on.
That's the one.
Oh, I know it. I mean, I did it, but I don't.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere there. I'm watching you do that. I'm like, I know I've done it. I may have to go back and look at that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might.
Did,
That's probably the one I remember performing the most. That was fun.
did you have a favorite thing you like to do? Like, did you like when your characters got to dress up, or when you got to sing, or you got to? Was there a favorite thing?
Ooh, I feel like I got to dress up a lot, which was fun. I love to sing, and I think in the first episode I did, I got to dress up as this like little country farmer girl. Yeah, the dressing up was super fun, and having like an accent, and playing a character.
Wow.
With your friend. Yeah, that was cool. I really liked that one.
All right, so let's talk about that. Did they suggest an accent for you, or is this something you did? You remember?
Oh, I think they did. I think there was like a slight accent or something. I know there was another role that they wanted me to do, but it didn't end up working out. That also had an accent. So now I'm trying to like remember which one it was. But no, I think they asked me like, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "Yes, for sure."
Wow.
I don't know if it was country or what, but I mean, I'm from Dallas, Texas, so I can pull out a country accent pretty fast.
Wow.
I bet you can't. I can't get out of my mind. I'm from Dallas, Texas. You went to Oklahoma. Even though I have lots of friends that went to Oklahoma, so a lot of good friends that went there.
I know my dad hates me for it. He's
Wow.
like UT all the way.
Yes, it's a great school. Like I said, I have lots of friends, but
Wow.
oh, Boomer Sooner. And then was it? You kind of mentioned earlier, but was there a favorite episode?
The France one.
The
For
French
sure.
one.
Oh yeah, that
Wow.
one was great. I loved it. Loved everything
I'm
about
trying to
it.
remember this Italy one you keep mentioning.
Yeah, we were in a gondola. Do you remember that? We were on a green screen in a gondola, and we sang.
Or was it a blue screen?
It might have been.
Probably that day.
Yeah,
Green screen. I'm gonna look that up and send you the
I know,
picture.
me too. That's the first thing I'm doing after this.
I know,
Wow.
me too. But yeah, I think I do remember the gondola now that you say that.
We sang "Row, Row, Row Your Boat." And what's it called when you do it like one after the other? You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Row,
I
row,
don't
row
know
your
what
boat,
it
row,
is, but I
row
do
your
know
boat.
what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Was there a pizza in that episode? Did we do anything with pizza?
I don't know. I know that we painted masks.
Oh.
Wow.
He's like,
Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch that episode. Yeah,
I
'cause
think I actually still have the mask somewhere. Actually, they let me keep it, but
oh, that's cool.
yeah, that was
Wow.
really cool.
That's cool. Yeah, we did a lot of those in the later series. I remember that going to different places, and I'm trying to remember all the. I know we went to a lot of great places.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! So, do you just have a favorite memory from your time at Barney?
Favorite memory. Okay, this is so weird.
Wow.
But I have this clown nose. I remember Gary, the hairdresser. I love him. Love him. Haven't talked to him forever, but still love him.
Well, you
And
need to follow him on Facebook because he is
I
not
do.
stopped. Okay, so he's not stopped being amusing.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Okay, I have to find him. I don't think we're friends on Facebook. I'll find him.
Yeah.
Are you friends with him?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Yeah,
Wow.
I'll send it to you because he is, or just go through my friends list because he's hysterical.
Okay, good. Yes, he's so funny. He gave me a clown nose because I hate hairspray so much. Like the smell makes me gag. So
Wow.
he all he does every day is just put on the hairspray, like layers and layers. So he gave me this clown nose so I would stop like inhaling it.
Wow.
Which is like such a weird memory, but it was every day and it was just so sweet. So I think that might be my favorite one.
Wow.
That's the stuff that's so great. That's what made it so good. We all have those memories
Yeah.
of all that stuff that just made it so special.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell you. It's just been such a pleasure going down the Purple Road with you.
Of course, same here. It's so good to talk to you, for
Mhm.
sure, and reminisce.
Well, I love hearing it. I love hearing the perspective. It's been so fascinating, seeing it. And I could just see from the second we got on earlier, the passion that you have for it. And it makes it really special.
Oh, thank you. Well, this was really fun. I really appreciate it.
Well, we'll keep in touch, but I can't wait to see where's next. And
Yes.
I don't even need to tell you to keep going because I don't think there's anything stopping you.
Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You as well.
Oh, I just keep, I don't know.
Wow.
It's in my blood. I can't help. I can't
You got
derail that train. It just goes.
Wow.
Yep, you got the bug. We all have it.
Well, thank you so much. So good to see you, and thanks for being on the show.
Of course. Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching Purple Roads. Remember to keep your eyes, ears, and heart open, and you'll find your Purple Road. We'll see you next week.
That was Deborah Cole, Purple Roads episode number 99. I think it was an exciting episode to watch for LJPCBM episode 1369. Of course, that episode was also inspiring, touching. So there you go on that. And that was the episode of LJPCBM episode 1369. That's right, 69 for you guys. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one's gonna be Purple Roads. We finally get to Purple Roads episode 100 after a year and a half. Anyway, Purple Roads episode 100, Anthony Field for the Wiggles. I am not sure we're going to do this yet, but we'll see what happens. Till next time, Sue Joseph episode baby. We can watch you guys from Phil to say out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I fail to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I all the time. I ask, why me? Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.
So I landed it and went the other way, and I landed on one leg, and the whole thing went that way, and I took my weight and yanked it and landed down, and I mean you could hear 16,000 people going